and welcome to episode 1 of Arcadiology, where we dig up your favorite arcade relics. My name is Jordan Carruthers, and I'm here with my 3 best friends in the world, the Wiggin brothers. Brad Wiggin.
What's up?
Sky Wiggin.
Hello there.
And Kyle Wiggin.
Oh, saw, dudes.
There it is. Speaking of, credit to Mr. Sky Wiggin for the intro theme. Something that I don't know how to make that, so I'm glad he was here to do that for us. How's everybody feeling? Are we all excited for this? I know this is Brad's brainchild. He's been working on this for how many months now, getting us ready to go.
Yeah,
it's finally time.
A few months now. Just been waiting, fine tuning everything, getting everything set up, and waiting for the right time to get started.
He was you're coming at us hard, getting us ready to go with this, man.
Oh yeah, I was ready to move on with or without you guys. So I'm glad you guys came along.
I set like 8 alarms just to make sure I didn't miss this, and the past week he's been sending texts. I've been everywhere I go outside. I've been like checking corners, watching my back. It's sketchy, dude.
Better keep an eye out.
Bro, Sky almost missed episode 1, man. We were sitting here waiting on him.
I've been snoozing all day.
Listen to this man and his weird work schedule.
Yeah, I was like, we're going with or without him. Jordan's like, hey, we gotta wait for him. Like, I don't know. We can't be waiting too long. We gotta get started.
That's my boy. We can't leave my boy behind. No man left behind, man.
Yeah.
About to get fired on the first day.
We're docking your pay, bro. I'm sorry.
Rough
Game
first
night's
day.
awkward, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, my boys. I haven't seen you in a bit. How you been keeping busy? What you been doing? You guys playing anything else other than the game we're talking about tonight? What's been going on, boys?
I mean, I guess I'll start off. I've been playing The Messenger. You hear that game at all? Anyone?
It sounds familiar.
I briefly brought up the Sky the other day, but it's a side-scrolling platformer. It came out in like 2018, so it's not super old or anything, but it's really good. It's probably like one of the best platformers I've played in a long time.
Yeah,
I'm terrible at platformers, bro.
Yeah, it's not super. I mean, there's definitely some tricky parts, but it's like they're pretty generous with the checkpoints. So when you die, you just kind of go back a couple screens. But what's really cool about it, like about halfway through it, the game like completely changes. It like kind of turns itself into a Metroidvania. Like you got to go back through all the levels, and it adds like a new mechanic to it. So it like changes the whole world. It's pretty awesome.
Okay, cool.
Is that on Steam?
Yeah, it's on Steam.
I'm going to pick that up.
Yeah, definitely recommend it. I mean, the music, just for the music alone, it's worth it. It's so good for like it's like 8-bit and 16-bit, I believe.
Dude, I straight up just bought the whole Undertale soundtrack. I get it, man. I get liking the music.
Yeah, it's so good. I definitely recommend it. I'm almost done with it, I think. I'm pretty close to the end. The only thing, I think the first half of it's a lot better than the second half, because it's just like straightforward in the beginning. Like you're moving from one end to the other, fight the boss, do the next thing. And then once it opens up, it's like you just gotta figure it out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Still good.
Speaking of Steam, Sky, did you finally buy that Steam Deck yet? You've been talking about for months.
I did not yet, no, as you could expect.
My guy, you missed the sale.
I did. Brad was saying I can still get like the cheapest one, and then just buy like more memory for it.
Yeah, that's still the best.
Oh yeah.
So it might actually be just cheaper to go that way instead of buying like whatever it is.
Oh, I shelled out that whole $700 for that.
Still
that
worth
big
it.
boy model, man.
I was going to.
I think so, man. I think it's worth it
for sure.
It's basically all I play. I don't touch anything else. Like I've been playing lately Madden, Pokemon Emerald. Still haven't beaten that one yet. The original Fire Emblem, like all kinds of stuff. It's all on the Steam Deck. I don't touch anything else anymore, man.
Yeah, it's the same here. Once I got the Steam Deck, I mean, you can get everything everywhere else onto it pretty much. If it's not native on Steam, you can pretty much emulate most things.
Pretty much. Legally, right?
Legally, of course, yeah. I've owned
them. Of course, legally. That's the only way to do it.
I've owned them, ripped them myself, and transferred them over, obviously.
100%. Anything else, Sky? Anything else you've been up to fun?
I've been playing this little game called Realm of the Mad God. Have you heard of that?
Ooh.
Oh, nope, every time I hop on Discord, I see you on it, so I know.
Do you?
I know you're playing it. I was going to ask you about it.
I've been playing it real tough lately. It's not even a new game. I think they have like a new update now, but pretty sure I was playing this game like, I don't even know, 15 years ago or something. It was like an old browser game. But I think Ryan showed me a long time ago, and we played it for a little bit. It's pretty much just like a 2D like roguelike kind of thing. You just run around, just trying to get better equipment and see how long you can last.
What's it called again?
Realm of the Mad God.
Okay, I might look into that bad boy.
That's should be free on Steam, and then you can. There's probably DLC and stuff you can buy for it.
It's on Steam.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing it on.
Oh, okay.
Steam Deck, baby.
Yeah, there we go.
Yo, Kyle, what you been up to over there, my man?
Oh, you know me. I still play Halo because it's the only thing that satisfies that competitive edge. There's just there's just nothing
that's
like
it, man. He's just
four-shotting a Spartan and just watching him ragdoll across the screen.
this man just plays Halo in the game we're gonna talk about this week. That's it.
I keep it simple.
Man's never done another game in his life.
Always been Halo.
Oh man. We're ready to go. We're gonna get started with the reason we are here tonight. Our game for the evening is Metal Slug. Metal Slug is a side-scrolling run-and-gun game released in 1996, developed by Nazca Corp and released by SNK. It's kind of the way I see it, it's more of a cartoony Contra. So you're basically just running, typically straight across the stage, taking on an endless wave of enemies, one by one, with a boss at the end of each stage. And along the way, you can get different weapon upgrades, including a tank, which significantly increases both your firepower and defense. The tank is a big thing. I believe the game was originally meant to be just a tank game until they made it more of just a run and gun on your feet. It's a 6-mission game. You got POWs to save. They give you different power-ups as you save them, and they increase your score. Some of the scenery in each stage is destructible, allowing you to progress further or get additional power-ups. Speaking of the POWs, though, one of the things I didn't realize until later on, guys, is maybe you knew, I don't know, but if you die during a mission, the freed prisoner count that you got reverts back to 0. So I technically only officially freed 3 during the entire game. Did you guys realize this originally or no? Because I was blown away when I found out later on.
Yeah, I didn't notice it first, but I ended up figuring it. I think I looked it up, so I was like, wow, I know I've saved some of the prisoners when I got to the end of the stage, and it said 0. And then I figured out that it's because if you die, it resets your count for that stage. So yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I realized it was happening, but I didn't know what was happening. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's bugged, but like I'm rescuing people and it just says 0 every time. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even pay attention to that.
Didn't even care about them.
The way it was worded was, I think it said, how they worded it in a way that made me think it was like recaptured prisoners or something. So I thought maybe like you can free them and the enemy can capture them again, and that's what I thought was happening when I saw it said like recaptured prisoners 1 or 2 or whatever. But apparently that's just like you're recapturing them,
Right.
and if it's a 0, it's because you died.
Yeah.
I didn't realize till later. I thought I was killing it. I was like, oh, I'm getting every single one of these little
Yeah.
dudes.
They're sneaking
that's
back
brutal.
away. Yeah, and also
They
whenever
don't.
you like save them, if they start running away, if you don't like run into them again, then they don't drop anything. Because normally, once you save them, they'll like drop some points or drop you a weapon or something. But if they just start walking off the screen, then they're just gone and you don't get anything, which kind of sucks.
So, have you guys ever played this game before? Because personally, I have not. I've heard of it. It's Metal Slug. I've heard of it. I've never played this game before we were doing it for the show. What about you guys?
No, I've never heard of it. Never played it.
Never heard of it either?
Not until recently, but when we started discussing it. But yeah, other than that, I've never even heard of it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I definitely heard of it. I mean, I'd listened to a lot of different gaming podcasts. It's definitely been brought up there before, and just the name in general I've known, but I never actually seen or played the game. For some reason, I thought it was a Worms game, like, you know what I mean, where you're like little worm guys. You got to like change like the arc of your shot and shoot it across to the other side.
Essentially a slug.
I don't know.
It's just an
slug
armored
worm,
little slug.
metal worms. I don't know.
You got
what
like
it
a helmet
was.
and a shield.
Taking the name real literal.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was for some reason until I actually looked into it. I was like, that's not the game I thought it was at all.
So the only experience I have with it was, I think I played like a Flash game on like Newgrounds somebody made called Metal Slug, like a long time ago.
Was it
I don't even know
completely
if it's
different?
anything. I can't even remember exactly what it was like, but it's probably just some unofficial fan game they just call it Metal Slug.
Yeah.
I remember Newgrounds. Oh my god, that's a blast from the past. I spent way too much of my junior high years on that website.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that was the place to be.
Oof. Anyway, so as I mentioned, you can collect different kind of weapons in this game. The ones I recall, there's the handgun that you start with automatically, not too strong. There's the heavy machine gun, the rocket launcher, shotgun, flame shot. Then you kind of have little side things. You have a limited amount of grenades. You can ride tanks. You have a knife. If you're right up on an enemy, you can just knife them. Did you guys have a favorite or least favorite weapon that you guys recall?
I like the shotgun. The only thing that sucks is it seemed like it was so rare, it barely ever dropped. Anytime I dropped it, I ended up like dying 3 seconds later, so I barely got to use it. So it just made me more mad than anything because I never got to use the thing.
And that is the issue. If you pick up a weapon and you die, it's gone.
Yeah, it's instantly.
I mean, for the time being.
Right.
I feel like that happened a lot. Whenever I got a cool weapon, I'm like, yeah, I'm tearing up. Then I just die and have nothing again. I'm like,
instantly gone.
Yeah, that got pretty.
Like every 10 seconds, I'm dying and losing everything.
It'd be nice if at least kept it until you had like a game over, like, you know what I mean, run out of lives. But no, as soon as you die, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I was partial to the machine gun. I just like the consistency of the bullets and just the spray of it.
I agree. I think that was my favorite because it can also shoot in basically any direction as well if you turn.
Yeah, I think the rockets were maybe like a close second, but
really,
I
didn't like how slow they were.
Exactly, slow but super powerful. Good against the enemy tanks, more or less.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan, and they're too slow. Just I like to blast, like that flame blast. That thing was nice because it could hit a bunch of people at once. It was just more fun to use. I feel like.
Yeah, I was all about that flame shot.
Yeah.
I really didn't use the grenades much at the beginning. I think mostly because on my arcade cabinet the buttons were a little off from what they were supposed to be, so I kind of had to figure the buttons out at first. I really didn't touch the grenades almost at all on the first mission, but once I kind of got the hang of the game, I was chucking those bad boys left and right. If I saw a tank come up, I was just C button, C, just chucking grenades.
Yeah, I didn't even realize as I was playing for the longest time, I didn't throw any grenades. I was just running and gunning. I look up, I have like 20 grenades. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta start using these things.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I was in the exact same situation because I didn't know. I played with my Xbox controller, so I wasn't sure what the configuration was and what button did it. So I definitely went through like the first 1 or 2 stages without using them.
Yeah, at first I seen them and I was trying to be conservative. I didn't want to use them. Then anytime like you would die, I don't know if you died or if you used like a continue, it would reset them anyway. So it's like I'm dying a lot, so I might as well just spam these bombs any chance I get because they're going to be back to 10 in a second anyways.
Yeah, I think they were pretty generous with giving you those.
Yeah, it seems like I got a lot of them from the POWs that you save.
Right.
They were always stocking me up.
Still think I like the machine gun for bosses. It felt like I shredded them real fast.
Absolutely. Machine gun was tough, man.
Yeah, it's that constant damage output. It was definitely a solid weapon. And you get it all the time. It seems to be the one weapon they give you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I know I told you guys before, like, I love games where you can just be completely mindless with things and just absolutely run and go crazy. If I had a special weapon during a boss fight, I was so careful. I was so careful to make sure I didn't get hit because I did not want to lose those damn weapons.
Yeah, the one thing though, if you get like if you have to use a continue, power weapon spawn, the machine gun spawns every single time. That's their way to try to suck you back in to put another coin in.
Exactly, that's what I thought too. It's if you're in an arcade, you're spending quarters, you say, "Oh, I'm almost out of quarters," but it's gonna give me a machine gun. Right. So
they knew what they were doing.
I get you. So as for these stages, 6 of them in the game. How well do you guys recall these stages? Do you have a favorite or least favorite stage?
Yeah, my favorite was the 3rd level. That's the one that starts off, it's like pretty vertical. Like you're right off the beginning, you're like climbing upwards. That one I liked a lot. That one was pretty fun. Whenever I came back, like I played this 3 times through. First time I just kind of like ran through it, checked it out, and the second time I was trying to be like get a good score, and I beat that level without dying the second time.
Dang, okay.
Yeah, I think that was actually my favorite level as well.
Yeah,
it was like the first one where it was like it started going like because all the levels you kind of you might go like up one floor, like kind of down one thing, but like this one was like I feel like the whole level I was just climbing higher and higher up and had to like jump back and forth, and it was kind of different than the rest of the levels, so I think it stood out.
Yeah, a little more platforming than the other ones.
Yeah.
Is that the one that had the button you had to shoot to open the gate up at the top?
Yep.
That's my favorite one too. Then
that's the one, man.
Level 3, the snow level.
Yep.
Okay, guys. So I'm gonna read word for word what I have written down on my notes here, and that is most frustrating mission was the snow mission, mission 3, because the beginning was way more platformy, and I'm terrible at platforming because I can never trust my jumps.
Oh man,
Well,
that's a complete opposite of
imagine that.
everyone.
That's funny.
He hated it
We
so
all
much
three
that
love
he
that
noted
level.
it.
He hates it.
I didn't hate it, but I will say it wasn't too aggressive, but there was maybe one or two times that I missed a jump and fell, and I'm terrible at platforming games, man. I don't know what it is.
What's weird to that point though, you don't really have to do really any platforming because the other levels are just left or right.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing dangerous to really jump or anything. So you get to that, like you're not sure what the jump is like. You have to test it out on that level.
I did think the part you mentioned though, Sky, was cool with the gate that you have to shoot to it. Like it's kind of slowly dropping,
Yeah.
and you shoot the gate to raise it back up. That part was kind of neat.
That's-
That was different, which I enjoyed.
It's kind of
Yeah,
weird. Like I thought
it's
that was
tricky.
going to be the start of some puzzle stuff, but that was it.
Yeah, you had to
Pretty
be
much,
careful
yeah.
because that guy would like lay down under the gate and shoot at you. You had to try to kill him.
Yep.
Hit the gate, then another one would come and replace him. Once you killed him, you had to keep trying to like lift it up and kill him without getting shot.
There's the TNT crate behind him that you're shooting.
Right? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
Got to get that.
Yeah, that level felt like it was starting to like slowly introduce you maybe into like some other mechanics of the game, but then it just kind of dropped off after that and just went back to normal.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of weird.
that was the peak for
Just
me.
gave up on that.
Kind of hoping there was more stuff like that, but it was just run and gun again.
Yeah,
Nope, just mindless shooting, man. That's what this game is, man. Which I not a bad thing, but yeah, kind of weird that they introduced that puzzle aspect and then took it right back away from
you know what they introduced on the very next level? The dudes flying out of the sky that knife you back. It's the first time they start meleeing you. Those
Oh,
guys,
I have
dude.
that in my notes too. Where
Those
where
guys
is it?
suck.
Oh man,
That was the very next
Where did
level
I
after my
put that?
favorite level, and all of a sudden these guys start flying out of the sky. Because I always try to melee them when that's just like a nice, quick little kill. It's fun to do, but those guys got me.
I have it right here in the notes. Hated the enemies who jumped in from the side of the screen with a knife. Instant kill.
Yeah,
Terrible, because I was over there I was just trying to shoot, just trying to casually gun people down, and every 2 seconds these MFers, they hop in, and apparently this guy can survive many gunshots, but you get anywhere near him with a knife, it's done. That's a life gone. It was awful.
That was the moneymaker
So
level.
much. Oh my god. Oh, it's
yeah. Just when
terrible.
you thought you had the game figured out, they throw that in to get a few more coins out of you.
Worst. But we're gonna move on from that. Anyway, let's talk about bosses. Does anybody have a favorite or least favorite boss from the game?
Not about a favorite, but I definitely have a least favorite, and I want to say it was the helicopter, where it's just like a single helicopter, and there's like 4 little platforms that constantly keep going up and down, and you have to like hide underneath the platform when he's dropping the bombs
See-
on you. And
Oh,
it
okay.
just
That-
seemed like there was just such a tiny window to do damage, and I just felt like I was hiding under this platform the entire time.
I had a really tough time with that until I realized that you were able to hide under those platforms, because you could still shoot through the platforms, but they couldn't shoot you through it. So if you kind of just found the one that was up, you go there, you shoot up at him. When that one goes down, you move to the next one, and it kind of follows you. So once I kind of figured that out, it made it way easier.
Yeah, for me, I don't know if I'm gonna count it anyways. It was like the mini boss. We're going back to level 3. When you get to the top of like that the vertical part, there's like that dude with like the chain gun
Oh, yeah,
jumping
that
back
guy
and forth.
sucked.
Yeah,
Dude, I love that dude. He was awesome. It was the only like human boss. All the other bosses just kind of blended together to me. He was the only one that kind of
Yeah.
stuck out.
I'm
That
with
part
B
was
on that.
interesting.
Yeah, that dude was cool. And just to make it better, I finished him off with a knife kill. So that felt pretty good.
Ooh, style points.
Yeah, I must have been
And I
doing
mean-
something wrong because I think that guy beat me up, dude.
Really?
I mean,
Interesting.
and did you see that man's abs?
He's ripped, bro. Carrying that machine gun.
Yeah. Oh boy, and he's bald. My bald brother. We are the same, he and I.
Yeah, I think I like that guy too. I think that was the only fight I kind of felt like I was playing like Mega Man, like platforming and trying to shoot the guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Something
like
about
just
that whole
little-
level.
Little 1v1 there was kind of cool.
So there's 2 bosses that kind of stood out to me. There's the one, I want to say it was maybe stage 4 or 5, but it was the one who would lay landmines and had one gigantic gun in the middle. So you had to avoid the mines. But the good thing was that giant gun in the middle, it didn't seem to shoot if you were moving. It waited till you stayed still. So once I figured that out, I just kept constantly jumping from left to right and shooting down the whole time, and it basically never even fired at me. I just had to avoid those mines.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
that's the same snow level actually. That's after you kill the gunner.
Is that
guy.
okay?
The
Then
There's
the
a
other
giant
boss,
tank.
all around.
Yeah, it's
the other boss I thought of then was actually I think I did best against the final boss of the game because I just completely hyper focused on avoiding those attacks, and really it I don't want to say it never touched me. It still killed me multiple times, but I was so focused on avoiding the attacks finally instead of just mindlessly going ham that I thought that final boss was super easy.
I struggled a little bit with it. I don't know. I think I was just kind of wanted it to be over at that point. I just keep like
Yeah.
spamming. I'd go to the top and just throw all my grenades and end up dying, then try to get the weapon and die trying to get the weapon. It spawned me. I struggled on the final boss a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely
That's fair.
got to a point in this game where I was like, when I started, I was like, all right, I'm gonna not die at all. Be really careful. And then like you just start to realize like, okay, like there's no avoiding these deaths sometimes. Like I'm just gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
And then towards the later stages, I was just like Rambo, and I was just like, oh, if I die, I die. Like I'm going in.
Yeah, I still like that big tank thing you were talking about in stage 3. I think that was probably the funnest one next to that gunner guy.
With the landmines.
Yeah, because you could
Yeah,
like jump
so-
over those landmines and shoot them, and you could blow them up.
Felt
Mm,
a
it
lot more
wasn't- yeah, it
active
wasn't
and
too hard.
like more skillful to me. Just running around, jumping around, and shooting.
Yeah, once I found out that giant gun in the middle wasn't really, it kind of like it wanted you to stop so it could lock onto you to launch that big attack in the middle. And really, if you just kept moving back and forth, it didn't do a whole lot to you.
That the last level too, where you fall out of the sky and you land on that turret and start shooting airplanes. is pretty cool.
Yes, I did mean to bring that part up. I completely forgot. I was going to ask if you guys all used that turret because I think it might have, I don't know if it was optional or not, but the only thing that really threw me off about the turret was the inverted controls. That took me a while to get down.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
a
wasn't-
weird control.
I wasn't a fan of that turret because you had no mobility. It was nice to shoot down like the helicopters or the planes or whatever in the beginning. Then once enemies started dropping, you're just like a sitting duck. You just couldn't really. I just tried to avoid it a little bit. It just seemed to get me killed too many times.
I mean, I definitely died a handful of times, but I still had a fun time dying.
Yeah, it was still fun.
It was good to use for the planes, and then every so often I jump off of it, just use my gun, and then jump back on it.
Exactly. So if no one else has any more boss or stage or weapon talk, real simple question I have for you guys here. How did you feel about the difficulty in this game?
I thought it was kind of high.
You thought it was high?
I died a decent amount.
Yeah, I'm curious. I want to get to the. I'm eager to get to the point where we say how many times we've died, but
We'll get there. We'll get
I
there.
did die. I think what was a fair amount of times. I don't know. I guess I'm sure there's somebody out there that's probably beat this game and never died. But just doing it, like picking it
yeah.
up, doing one playthrough, and that's it. I felt like there was no way I was going to avoid a lot of these deaths. The one thing I really don't like though about the game was the way the aiming worked, where like I couldn't like be shooting forward and then flick to shoot straight backwards. You had to like arc the gun all the way up like a rainbow over top of your head.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was just irritating the entire game.
Was that was just for the tank, wasn't it?
No, that was for everything. You couldn't just like forward and then backward.
The tank did it very slowly.
Yeah,
though.
the tank. We didn't even talk about the tank, but yeah, that's.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love it. I love anything that bolsters your defenses, but it definitely it turns very slowly, so you're kind of a sitting duck at times in it.
Dude, I shredded with the tank. I tried to make that thing last as long as I could because that's the only time you
Oh,
want
of course.
one hit kill. That thing was nice.
Of course.
I
Absolutely.
think it's kind of funny how the tank can like crouch. Like it has a crouching animation.
Yes.
That was kind of weird.
I specifically remember crouching underneath like a bunch of consecutive attacks in the one stage with it.
Yeah.
How does the
We
tank
love us a
just
flexible
crawl?
tank, boys.
One other thing with the tank while we're here. Did any of you guys accidentally hit like A and B at the same time and just self-destruct your tank when you didn't want to?
Yep.
That sucks.
No.
No.
I did
Wow.
not do that.
I did it a couple times.
I jumped out on accident a few times, but I did not self-destruct that I know of.
Yeah, if it doesn't matter how much HP it has left. I think it's if you hit A and B at the same time, it just like launches it forward and it just blows up. Your tank's gone. Dude, it sucks.
I'm surprised I haven't done that because I was mashing buttons like freaking crazy.
Yeah.
I think I'm used to just like holding in the shoot and then hitting jump whenever I need to. So there's quite a few times I hit both of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so as for difficulty in this game, I mean, like you said, Kyle, I guarantee there are people out there who have done this game without dying a single time. Guarantee it. if you're someone who's playing this game for the first time and you're playing it in an actual arcade with actual money, I feel like you're definitely going to be spending up because it's certainly not easy. And I feel like if you were spending your real hard-earned quarters, when you got to that enemy with the knife that jumps in at you, I probably would have tilted the arcade cabinet. I would have walked right out.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely tough.
It's a mindless game, but it's a relatively tough. I don't want to say tough because like it's very simple, but you are going to die a lot.
It's just so hectic. There's just stuff going on everywhere.
I just pictured Jordan flipping this arcade cabinet, and he's like $2.50 in.
I spent a lot of money to buy this cabinet. Okay, let's try not to let that happen. Did you guys by any chance time yourselves how long it took you to beat it, or was that just me?
I did not.
I did not officially time it. I think I have like a roundabout estimate of probably how long it took.
Yeah. Specifically for me, it was 48 minutes. So I think roughly it's about a 45-minute game.
I was going to say, if I had to guess, it was probably about 45 minutes.
That would have been my guess, yeah. I definitely didn't time it, but just an estimate. That's roughly what I would have said.
Mm-hmm. So, question that we're going to ask for every game that we do. If you could only ever play this game again in an arcade with your hard-earned quarters, is it worth playing? How many quarters do you think you would spend on it?
I would definitely give it a coin. I don't think I would sit down and try to beat the whole thing. It's fun to play a little bit, but I'm not going to stand there and try to play through the whole game personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it depends. If I knew ahead of time if I knew that the game was about 45 minutes or was about 6 stages, if I knew that, then maybe I'd be like, okay, I'll put my coins in and try to beat this game. But if I didn't know that going into it and I wasn't sure how long it was, I wouldn't sit there and try to find the end of it.
I'd play it. It looks cool too. Like I love the graphics of the game also. Like that pixel art's pretty insane.
Yeah, it looks awesome for a 1996 game. It looks great.
Yeah, graphics are amazing.
I'd give it a play, but honestly, as I was playing it just to do this, I kind of got sick of it by like level 2. I was already bored. I was like, this is the same thing over and over. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah.
I thought level 3 was going to change it up, and then it just went back to the same.
It's mindless entertainment, you know.
But I'd give it a try, though. I don't know. I'd probably give it like maybe $1, and I'd be done with it.
Yeah, if I could only ever see, that's we have these games at home. We can do them ourselves. I know Brad and I have our own full arcade cabinets. We can play them. If the only option was to ever play it again in a public arcade with money, I think if I hadn't played it before with those graphics and whatnot and only 6 stages, I would definitely go into it with the intention of trying to beat it. But knowing how many times I've died playing it, if I were to do it again, I think maybe I'd play enough quarters to beat the first stage and be done with it. Because I know I'm going to be spending up otherwise.
Yeah, that's fair. You're not going to see level 3 that way, but you know, at least you got to experience it.
I'm okay with not seeing level 3.
That's the thing. Like, just because we never played it before, we died a decent amount of times, so it's kind of frustrating. But I can see how you can actually be really good at this game if you actually sat there and practice it. Like, there's people out there doing it with 1 credit, so there's obviously skill involved, but it'll take so long for me to go from dying all the time to actually being skillful at it.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, does anybody else have any just generic thoughts about the game? Anything else they would like to mention about it at all, or should we move on?
This guy, like the character that you play as, I would have to go back. I think he was breathing really heavy the entire game, but to me it looked like he was chewing bubblegum the whole time. and so he kind of looked like Duke Nukem to me. Because it was like the look of him combined with him looking like he was chewing bubblegum. And so I put those two together and I was like, this is just Duke Nukem.
I don't know if it's in the first one or if it's just in like the subsequent games, because they made a lot of these. But I read something online along the lines that you know how you can pick up food in the game, like to add to your score. I read something along the lines that if you eat too much food in the stage, it'll actually make your character fat.
Huh.
That can't be
which
true.
I love. I read it. I didn't know. I don't know if it happened or not because I wasn't paying attention to my guy. So I don't know if it's in this one or just the later ones, but apparently if you eat enough of the food on the stage, your character gets fat.
Wow, did not know that.
That's pretty cool if that's
I love
real.
these little minor details.
Yeah, that's definitely...
That was kind of funny. The one level had, I think right in the beginning, You jump off a boat maybe or something. I don't remember. But there's like a monkey eating a fish, and you can just grab both of them.
Yeah.
I was like, what's this monkey doing down here eating a fish? Like,
I saw a monkey, but I think I couldn't reach him.
This feels like a tactic to get more quarters out of me.
Right.
I got to go
Oh,
back
yeah,
and play it
for sure.
again.
That's all these games are.
One thing that made me a little mad with the control is like, I'm pretty sure like if you're holding down, like you're crouching, you can't jump. You got to just, like, I would expect him just to jump out of it, like stand normal and jump. But you just won't jump. He'll just sit there, and I just got myself killed trying to like crouch jump at certain points.
Yeah, kind of like Kyle said earlier with turning, you kind of have to make all of your motions one little bit at a time. Like, you can't just go right from one thing to the other. You got to really move, like, okay, forward, diagonal, up, diagonal, back. Like, it's all one little thing at a time.
I must have just got used to that. I didn't even notice that outside the tank.
I don't think
Yeah,
I
it's just
did
like-
either.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe forward and back, maybe you can just quickly switch. But when you wanted to go like up overhead and stuff, or you were holding your trigger in the whole time, then yeah, you had to do like this giant arcing motion. You couldn't like pinpoint.
Yeah, and I think
I
whenever
mean, which is
to shoot
understandable
down,
for the time, but it was just annoying to play now.
like you couldn't like shoot down unless you jumped up and pressed down. Like
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you
I
held
did
it
not
down
like
and
that.
shot, you would just crouch. But if you wanted to shoot below, you got to jump up and then like swing it down, like you were saying. So yeah, I think I do kind of know what you mean.
I also don't like that you can't jump down through a platform. That I've
Yeah.
noticed. I tried and I could not do it.
Yep, there was, I don't remember what stage it was, but there was one stage in specific where I think I had an upgrade on the lower level, and I could not, for the life of me, figure out how to get down there to it.
I don't know why that wasn't a thing you could do.
Mhm.
Especially that one boss where it has the two tanks, one bottom, one top. You have to like
Yeah.
jump up, but then if you want to go back down, you have to run over to the little hole and fall down.
Mhm.
And that's not always the best spot.
And like I was just saying, how you couldn't jump while crouched, they could have easily just made it. If you're crouching and you hit jump, you fall through the floor.
Yeah, it's
Got
like
rid of it.
standard platforming controls.
Yeah.
Well, anything else? Any other gripes or any other fun parts you want to talk about?
I think that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah,
Good.
I think that's about it.
I'd have to say the music was pretty cool in some of the levels.
Yeah.
I think
That
my
was fun.
favorite
I mean-
might have been stage 4. 'Cause it's like sounded like a real jazzy kind of track. Had like a little solo and stuff.
For a game from 1996, like, the presentation of the game is great. I mean, it definitely looks like a game that came out much later than that to me.
Yeah, it seemed pretty advanced, like just the music and I still can't get over the graphics, how like detailed they
Mhm.
are for pixels. That's pretty cool.
They're fun. How old were you guys when this game came out in 1996? Because I was 5.
Ooh, I was 9.
Yeah, I think I'd be like 7.
That would also have been 5.
Boy, we are dating ourselves here, boys.
Yeah, that would have been cool to see in the arcade, but nah, I wasn't around
Oh,
for
yeah,
that.
for sure. Nope.
maybe
I mean,
maybe when we were younger,
early arcades.
we
Anyway.
might have pumped quarters into it all day. But
Yeah.
playing
Oh,
it
yeah.
now, I definitely would have gave it like 4 tries and I'm done.
At the old Chuck E. Cheese.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. But all right, we're going to move on from this now, guys. And we're going to move on to a segment that we're going to be doing every week. You ready for this one, Brad?
I sure am.
We need a little jingle. I don't know. Maybe me and Sky can work together to make this. Little numbers with Brad. Yeah. Something kind of like that, you know?
Something like that.
Perfect.
Get something like that.
We're moving on. Moving on to the segment, doing the numbers with Brad. So, Brad, I'm going to let you take the wheel here.
All right. So each game we're going to individually rate it. Each of us give us our own personal rating on the game. We're going to do a different rating system based on the game. So we'll take some aspect of the game. And for this one, it's going to be out of 106 prisoners of war. Because in the entire game, there's a total of 106 of them. So out of 106 prisoners of war, I gave it 85. I liked it. It was pretty good. I feel like the more I played it, the less I liked it, though. Like, the first run through, it was pretty fun. And then the second time, it was kind of, I don't know, it lost its spark the second time around.
Mm-hmm. So 106.
Yep, 106.
I'm gonna give this a solid 77
Okay.
because I think the main thing about this game is the presentation. It's the fact that, as we've said, we're beating a dead horse. We've said it so many times. It's a game from 1996, and somehow it looks incredible. It looks way better than any other video game that came out around that time. I personally feel like, I don't know, there's probably plenty, but it looks so much fun. I think it draws you in. And I think that's enough to keep you kind of going through it, despite the fact the game is very repetitive and you're essentially just doing the same thing for 45 minutes straight. But it's still fun, right? Like, I still had a fun time. And I think I have to give it somewhere around a 77 to kind of make it fair.
Okay. Kyle?
I think I'm gonna. If I had to rate this off of how many prisoners I rescued, it's probably 0. But
3 for me, baby.
But, my actual rating, I'm probably gonna hit it with a 65 prisoner rating. It just, I mean, like Jordan said, it was kind of after the first level. I felt like I was doing the same thing. Aside from that third level, I feel like they really just kind of dropped the ball with like what they could have done, because like they showed you that like, hey, it could be this, but instead we're going back to this.
Yeah.
So I feel like they just kind of missed the mark on that one. They could have made a lot cooler things to do in each stage. And then, like I said, just the shooting altogether for me just kind of killed me. Just having to like do this whole overarching head movement to get my gun where I needed it to be. I mean, obviously coming from an FPS player, that's incredibly frustrating. But it was fun. It was worth a playthrough.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd probably go a little bit lower than Kyle. I'll probably go about a 60 for
Ooh.
me.
Spicy.
There's a couple fun moments in it. Like, I still think level 3 was like the highlight for me.
Man, you guys.
But most of the game, though, for me was just, I don't know, it was all kind of the same. The bosses weren't like super interesting at all. A lot of them were just felt spammy, like you were supposed to spend quarters at that boss or something. Or,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
like it feels. I know it's an arcade game, but it really feels like arcade like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's there to make some money too.
That's the point.
I don't know. I had a couple of fun moments in it, but I was bored probably most of the time I played the game.
Right, so we're gonna see how many credits each of us spent on this game. You can take your best run, your first run, whatever you want. I mean, you guys each only played this once, right? Other than me.
Yep, I played it once.
Yep, one time.
Once. Okay. I mean, I'll give you both my scores. To beat it the very first time, it was 24 credits. I got the whole way through the game, and then I wanted to do it again. I was like, I'm not gonna settle with that. I feel like I could do a lot better. So the second time I went through it, I did it in 16 credits.
Nice.
That's a respectable score.
I'm gonna let Sky and Kyle go next.
All right. Mine, I actually tied B, 16.
Oh, nice. First run.
That's what I
On
went
your
with.
first run.
That was the first run I did, a couple of days ago. My very, very first time playing it, the game actually, I told Brad about this, like, my game crashed in level 4, so I lost all progress.
Yeah.
Yep.
So my second go at it a couple of days ago, I did it in 16.
Nice.
Well, I did my single playthrough in 20.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, and I beat it, and it gives you like the ending screen, and it shows you how many you used in like your score.
Right.
And so, I was gonna like take a picture of it so I could like share it with you guys, and then it I didn't press any buttons, and the screen just went away. So luckily I just remembered it.
Is the score you're giving us now the number it said there?
At the very end screen, yeah, it said 20.
Oh.
So I think you would add one more onto that then
Yes.
for your initial token that you used to start the game.
Correct. Yep. That's mine
That's
said
how
15.
it works.
Yeah.
Then I'm 21.
Okay. Sky, you're still 16? Or are you 17?
So I think it's 16.
Okay. Did you count them, or did you look at the end screen?
I kept track as I was playing the game. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as I die, I would spend one. I'd mark it down on paper.
Okay.
Me too.
Unless that didn't factor in the very first life. Are we doing that, or like when you start the game, does that count as, I guess, one credit?
That does, yes.
Yeah.
So then technically, I would be a 17 then, I think. I think I only track my deaths, so I don't think I added the first credit to start the game with. So then I think I'm sitting at a 17 if that's the case.
Okay.
I
All
think
right, Jordan,
we
hit
should.
us.
Big reveal.
I think we should move on. I think we should move on to the next segment.
I don't know. Jordan, something's missing here.
Jordan says 3 credits.
I don't think so. So, okay, listen. Hear me out. Hear me out. This game it's all about just mindlessness, right? You're just running forward, you're just smashing the button as fast as you can until your little boy fingers sore. You're not thinking, you're just shooting. I really thought you guys were gonna say a higher number.
There's no shame here.
Because I spent 41 tokens.
Yeah, I mean, you were having fun, right?
What did you
That's all
fall
that
asleep
matters.
on one of the stages?
I was having fun. I was having fun until you guys said your numbers, but okay.
This dude stole his mom's credit card and went to the arcade.
I'm also the kind of person that, like, when I play a game, everything I see has to be done. So, like, I don't know if any of you guys, like, you kind of just kept going forward. I scoped out every little thing I saw. If I saw anything in the distance, I'm trying to get that. So maybe that got me a few extra deaths in there. I don't know. Curiosity killed the Jordan. I don't know, man. 41 tokens, mark it down, whatever. I thought you guys were going to say way more.
Now I see why you hate stage 3 so much.
Right.
It's like a lot of
Stage-
deaths came from there.
Come on, man.
Now, this game is brutal though. The first time you play
I
it.
got better as I went.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that's all of our credit talk. Something else we want to do. It doesn't really work too well this episode, but since this is our first one, we're going to try to rank each game based on what together we decide is the best one. So with this
Master
being
list.
the only game, this is obviously sitting at number 1. But
What?
just to give it something, how long do you guys think this will sit at number 1? Do you think it's going to sit up high pretty long, or do you think it's going to drop down pretty quick?
See, I have not yet started our next game, so I don't know how much better that one's gonna be. But like, it's definitely tough whenever, because we haven't even talked about what game is third. Like, we don't
Right.
know what's coming up at all. So it's a total crapshoot here.
Yeah.
But I'll say, just shot in the dark, having fun with it. I'll say, we get to episode 4, it loses the number 1 spot. That's just my guess. Random
Okay.
guess.
I mean, you have to be so specific, but that works too. I was just saying in general.
You know what I mean. Like, it gets a few weeks
Right,
here.
yeah.
I'm being specific. Okay,
that
I'm gonna
works.
do what I want.
We'll take it.
Yeah. For me, I think as soon as I play the next game, this is going to number 2.
Oh, man. Brutal.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
You guys, you didn't have that good of a time, huh?
I liked it. I didn't see it sitting at number
I mean,
1
A
for
couple
long.
moments.
I had a time. That counts for anything.
Ooh. Woof.
Well, there's a lot of cool, good stuff in it, but most of the time, I don't know. It wasn't anything special for me.
I think Sky's just upset that this game wasn't actually about a slug wearing armor. He had his intentions and they were not met.
I just could have been a slug with like a spear just dashing through everybody. That'd be cool.
Oh, that would have been so cool, guys. We should make that. Oh my god, everyone's listening to this. Don't steal our idea.
Metal worms.
Metal worms.
We're gonna get so sued.
Well, that's all I got for the rankings and ratings.
Wonderful. So with that being said, guys, I have one more surprise segment I did not tell anybody about.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
I've been thinking this out for weeks. I'm like, I'm gonna just surprise these guys with this, and they're gonna have no idea. Boys, we are doing some Metal Slug 1v1v1 trivia.
Oh boy.
3 questions. 3 questions, multiple choice. You have
Okay.
an A, B, and C answer. Gonna keep track of this and see how you guys do over the weeks. See who's in the lead. I'll take care of all this. Unless you want to add it to numbers with Brad, we'll see. But anyway, 3 questions. If you already know the answer, all I ask is that you let the other guys answer first. But are you guys ready to start this off?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Question number 1. Throughout the game, you can encounter enemies doing some pretty funny stuff before they notice that you found them on the screen. Which one of the following is not one of those things you can see the enemies doing? A. Using the toilet. B. Roasting food over a fire. Or C. Playing rock, paper, scissors. Whoever wants to go first, by all means, go for it.
I'll take a stab at it. I'll say C. Rock,
Okay.
paper, scissors.
Okay.
That's also my guess. C.
Okay. Sky?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
You're all correct. It is
Nice.
C. You can see them using the toilet. You can see them roasting food. I believe you can see them sunbathing. I think you can see them talking to each other, but they are not playing rock, paper, scissors in any of those scenes.
I definitely remember them roasting food, but I kind of was on the edge with the toilet and the rock, paper, scissors, so I kind of took a guess there.
I caught the toilet one. It was like right in front of a tank or something. I forget which stage, though. It was one of the later stages.
I didn't notice any
So-
of that. I'm gonna have to play through now
Yup.
just to see this.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just one of those little quirks in the game, one of those little fun things. So we're going to move on to question number 2. Not sure how much any of you guys, if any at all, looked into the backstory of the game, but what is the name of the red-vested captain that you play as in the game? Is it A, Marco Rossi, B, James Bradley, or C, Rock Griffin?
I'm just gonna go with A.
Okay.
I actually have no idea. I'm curious to see if they would you know this at all if you didn't like look into the game aside from just playing the game.
I don't recall seeing any points in the game where it actually gave you any of the backstory.
Okay, I'm just guessing. I'm gonna go C.
Okay. Sky, do you need me to repeat any?
Nope. I'm pretty sure it's A. I don't know where I saw or heard it, but I'm pretty sure it's Marco.
That gives it away. The answer is A, Marco Rossi. So that goes to Sky and Brad.
I was just like,
I mean,
guess.
we can agree that Rock Griffin is a cooler name, though.
Rock Griffin is the greatest name. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just thought, okay, Rock. Actually, I looked at my dog. So my dog's name is Roxy. I said, okay, Rock. And I thought, I'm like, what would be a cool ass name? I like Family Guy. He's joining the Griffin family.
I should have had Duke Nukem
That would have been
there.
way cooler.
That should have been one of them.
Come on, that would have been obvious. Just because he has bubble gum. All right, final question, number 3. What year does the not released? What year does the game's story take place in? Is it A, 1998, B, 2038, or C, 2028?
Oh wow, they're all in the future. I thought they were all gonna be like from when the game was
I
released.
thought
I
it
was
like
expecting
World
something
War
like
II or something.
yeah, that's what I was expecting. I was like, I know it's gonna be a World War II date, but it is not.
98, 38, or 28?
I'm gonna say 28. That's just I have no reason to believe that. That's just what I'm going with.
Fair enough. Kyle?
What was A? 1998.
Yes.
That's my guess.
Alrighty. And Sky.
I'm gonna go with 2038.
All right. So I'll tell you guys, one of you got all 3 questions correct.
Ooh.
I know I'm out.
Kyle's out. It's going to be... You can just edit the drum roll in later if you really feel like it. I don't care. It's Brad, 2028.
Yay!
Boys, 5 years. We better be careful here. This is happening in 5 years, so we got to get ready here.
It just looks like a regular war, like it's happened before.
Hope y'all got your armored slugs ready to go and your big machine guns and flame shots and all that, because it's going down, boys.
Metal Slug.
5 years. Get ready.
Metal Slug
We'll be
rolling up
old.
on a block near you.
Well, I
All
mean,
right,
it
boys,
looks like in 5 years we're going back in time 30 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
But hey, the graphics are going to look awesome. But hey, boys, I think we pretty much have covered everything we got to cover today. Does anybody have anything they want to add in before I sign us out here?
No, I don't think so.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good over here.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, on the next episode of Arcadiology, we have... Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the very first episode of Arcadiology with Jordan, Brad, Sky, and Kyle. You can follow us on essentially all social media, pretty much anything that has a handle at Arcadiology. I mean, admittedly, none of it has anything on it right now, but as this ball gets rolling, we'll get to it. So, boys, say goodbye.
Later.
See ya.
Peace.
All right, insert closing tagline here. Goodbye.